Everything you know about history may be wrong. Because what you are about to hear will shake the very foundations of what we thought we knew about Earth and about our place in the universe. Stay with us, because the deeper we go, the stranger it gets. And what comes next will leave you in shock. For centuries, we have told ourselves a simple story. Human civilization began only a few thousand years ago. First, hunter-gatherers wandered the Earth. Then, around 6,000 years ago, agriculture led to the first cities: Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indus Valley. From there, we advanced step by step, climbing the ladder of progress. That's the story. But what if it's wrong? What if our civilization is not the first? What if, buried beneath time, there were others, older, more advanced, erased by catastrophe? And it's not just Earth that hides secrets. When we look into the cosmos, the same unsettling questions emerge. Are we alone? Or are we simply too late? Or too early to see the others? The answers may lie in ruins half buried in the desert, in strange objects flying through our solar system, and in the very origins of the universe itself. What you are about to hear is not science fiction. It is real evidence, debated by scientists, archaeologists, and astronomers. And as you will see, the truth is far stranger than any myth. Ancient ruins that should not exist. Structures older than pyramids, older than Stonehenge. Who built them? How? And why did they vanish? What you're about to hear will rewrite history itself. Before the pyramids, before Stonehenge, before history as we know it, something impossible was built. And once you hear the details, you'll realize history may not be what we were told. The truth is far stranger, and what you are about to learn will leave you in shock. Let us travel back. Not thousands, but tens of thousands of years. Imagine a world after the last ice age. Humanity, we are told, was still primitive. Small groups of hunters wandered the forests, chasing mammoths, gathering berries, surviving day by day. They had no writing, no cities, no temples. At least, that's what the textbooks claim. But then came a discovery that changed everything. In the hills of southeastern Turkey, a group of archaeologists stumbled upon something that should not exist. Massive stone pillars, carved with intricate designs, buried under layers of soil. When scientists dated the site, the results shocked the world. 11,600 years old. This place is called Göbekli Tepe. Depth. And here is why it should terrify historians. Göbekli Tepe, the impossible temple. Göbekli Tepe is not just a collection of rocks. It is a temple complex of monumental scale. Stone circles, with pillars weighing up to 20 tons each, stand in perfect alignment. On their surfaces are carvings of animals: lions, snakes, vultures, foxes, scorpions, each symbol carefully etched by human hands. But here's the catch. At that time, humans were supposed to be nothing more than nomads. They were not supposed to have agriculture. They were not supposed to have organized religion. And they certainly were not supposed to carve and move 20-ton stones. This is like discovering a skyscraper in the Stone Age. It doesn't fit the timeline. It doesn't fit the story we've been told. Even stranger. Göbekli Tepe was intentionally buried around 8000 BC. Someone, for some reason, covered this incredible monument with tons of earth. Why would they hide such a place? Was it protection against something? A ritual closure? Or an attempt to erase memory itself? And Göbekli Tepe is not alone. But around the world, ruins appear that should not exist. Cities beneath the sea, monuments carved in impossible ways. Did an earlier civilization exist? And did it vanish in a global catastrophe? Everything you know about history may be wrong. Because what you are about to hear will shake the very foundations of what we thought we knew about Earth and about our place in the universe. Stay with us, because the deeper we go, the stranger it gets. And what comes next will leave you in shock. For centuries, human beings have told themselves a simple story. A story of progress, of steady evolution, of slow and predictable steps. We were hunters, then farmers, then city builders, then scientists. Civilization, we are told, is only about 6,000 years old, a tiny flicker compared to the age of the Earth. But what if this story is incomplete? What if there were chapters erased? Civilizations forgotten. Ages of glory lost beneath waves, ice, and fire. What if humanity is not the first to rise, but only the latest in a long cycle of birth, destruction, and rebirth? Archaeologists, geologists, and astronomers have uncovered fragments, pieces of evidence that don't fit into the official timeline. Temples older than the first cities. Catastrophes that wiped out entire species in an instant. Objects from the stars that defy explanation. Each discovery whispers the same unsettling question. Are we truly the first? Or just the survivors of something much larger? And tonight, we will follow that trail of evidence. From the deserts of Turkey to the depths of the ocean. From the violent skies of Earth's past to the edges of the observable universe. Piece by piece, we will uncover a hidden history. One that suggests we are far more fragile and far less unique than we dare to imagine. Humanity's fragile memory. Think about it. Our modern civilization feels permanent. We have skyscrapers, satellites, the internet. We imagine our world will last forever. But the truth is terrifying. If every human vanished today, within 1,000 years the forests would reclaim the cities. The glass would shatter, the steel would rust, the highways would crumble. Within 10,000 years, almost nothing of us would remain. 10,000 years may sound like a lot, but in geological time, it is the blink of an eye. Which means this. If another advanced civilization once existed tens of thousands of years ago, the evidence could already be gone. All that might remain are scattered ruins, buried under soil, or hidden beneath the sea. And suddenly, discoveries like Göbekli Tepe, A site older than agriculture itself, become not just archaeological puzzles, but warnings. Signs that the story of humanity is not a straight line, but a cycle. And what comes next will shock you. Because scientists have found ruins that should not exist. Structures built thousands of years before the first cities. Who built them? How did they do it? And why did they vanish? The answer will change everything you thought you knew about history, the bigger mystery. But it's not only Earth that hides secrets. The cosmos itself confronts us with impossible questions. In 2017, a mysterious object entered our solar system, an object that some scientists whispered might not be natural at all. In the last decade, telescopes like James Webb have revealed galaxies so ancient, so vast, that our very understanding of the universe is trembling. Are we a lonely accident in a dead cosmos? Or are we a fragile echo in an endless cycle? Civilizations rising and falling across time and space, never lasting long enough to meet each other. What you are about to hear is not fantasy. It is fact. Evidence gathered by science, debated fiercely, but undeniable. And as we piece it together, the picture that emerges is far stranger than myth. Because once you understand the fragility of our world, the violence of the cosmos, and the mysteries waiting just beyond the horizon, you will see our story has only begun. In the hills of Turkey lies a temple that should not exist. It is older than pyramids, older than Stonehenge, older than farming itself. Who built it? How? And why would anyone bury it in the ground? What you are about to hear will shock you, because it rewrites history itself. Before the pyramids, before Stonehenge, before written history itself, someone carved gigantic stones, aligned them with the stars, and then buried the entire complex beneath the earth. Who were they? How did they do it? And why would they erase their own creation? The answers will shock you. When we think of the ancient world, certain names dominate: Egypt, Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley. Civilizations that arose about 5,000 years ago and gave us writing, architecture, and cities. But what if there were others before them? Much older, much more mysterious, and far more advanced than they should have been. In the 1990s, a team of archaeologists began digging in the dusty hills of southeastern Turkey. What they found changed everything. Beneath layers of earth and time lay a series of massive stone circles, each pillar taller than a man and weighing up to 20 tons. The ruins were clear. Lions, scorpions, snakes, vultures, foxes. Not random scratches, but deliberate, symbolic art. This site became known as Göbekli Tepe. And here is the astonishing fact. It was built over 11,600 years ago. That makes it 7,000 years older than Stonehenge. Older than the pyramids. Older even than the invention of agriculture. By every rule in the history books, it should not exist. The mystery of Göbekli Tepe? Think about it. According to mainstream archaeology, at this time, humans were supposed to be simple hunter-gatherers. Small groups, moving constantly, surviving on berries and meat. They should not have had the knowledge or manpower to quarry, carve, and raise 20-ton stones. They should not have had organized religion, symbolic systems, or astronomy. And yet, here it is. Even stranger. The site was intentionally buried around 8000 BC. Someone, or something, poured earth over the pillars, sealing them away. Was it to protect the site from destruction? Was it part of a ritual? Or was it because of fear? Fear of something that was coming. The discovery sent shockwaves through the academic world. Suddenly, the official story of human progress looked fragile. If people could build Göbekli Tepe over 11,000 years ago, then maybe civilization is far older than we thought. But Göbekli Tepe is not alone. Around the world, ruins whisper the same impossible story. Of civilizations erased, of cities swallowed by the sea, of monuments carved when humans were supposedly too primitive to create them. What you are about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew about history. The sunken city of Dwarka. Far from Turkey, in the waters of the Gulf of Kampat, off the coast of India, divers made a discovery that stunned them. Beneath the waves lay structures, walls, streets, even possible foundations, stretching for miles. Carbon dating suggested some of the artifacts were at least 9,000 years old. That is long before the Indus Valley civilization, long before India's known history. According to Hindu tradition, this was the legendary city of Dwarka, home of the god Krishna. If true, it means entire cities once flourished and were swallowed by the ocean. Of course, skeptics argue the site could be natural rock formations. But the alignment of walls and geometric structures suggests something more. And once again, it raises the same unsettling question. How many other cities have disappeared beneath the rising seas of the last ice age? The Yonaguni Monument. Across the world, near the Japanese island of Yonaguni, lies another underwater mystery. Divers exploring in 1986 found what looked like a massive staircase carved into stone. Perfect right angles, sharp edges, terraces and platforms. Some scientists call it a natural formation, shaped by earthquakes. Others are convinced it is a man-made monument, perhaps as much as 12,000 years old. If that is true, it pushes human civilization back thousands of years further than history admits. And there's something else. Many of these ruins lie in regions that would have been dry land before the end of the Ice Age, which means if people built them, they lived and built long before we thought possible. And here is where the story becomes terrifying, because evidence suggests these civilizations may not have simply faded away. They may have been wiped out, erased in cataclysms so violent, so sudden, that almost nothing remained. What you will hear next may shock you, because it suggests history itself is a cycle of destruction. Why did they vanish? If Göbekli Tepe, Dwarka, and Yonaguni are truly remnants of forgotten civilizations, then one question remains: what happened to them? Some researchers point to the Younger Dryas event about 12,000 years ago, when Earth's climate suddenly shifted. In just a few years, temperatures plunged, ice returned, and massive floods carved the land. Some believe this was caused by fragments of a comet striking Earth, a cosmic disaster that erased entire cultures. Others suggest rising sea levels at the end of the Ice Age swallowed coastlines where humans had built their cities. Imagine, Millions of people living along fertile shores, suddenly forced to flee as the waters rose by hundreds of feet. Entire nations could disappear, leaving only legends behind. Is this why we find myths of great floods in cultures across the world? The story of Noah, the Sumerian flood, the sinking of Atlantis. Could these be memories of real disasters that erased civilizations long before Egypt and Babylon? The ruins of Göbekli Tepe stand as silent witnesses to a forgotten past. Submerged cities like Dwaka, Kanaguni, whisper of worlds, lost beneath the sea. Myths and legends across continents speak of floods and fire, of golden ages cut short. Are these coincidences? Or are they fragments of a hidden history? One that suggests humanity is older, more advanced, and more fragile than we ever imagined. But the most shocking evidence is yet to come. If scientists have found proof that Earth itself has been struck again and again by cosmic catastrophes, ancient-level events that reset history, and may one day erase us too. What you will hear next will leave you speechless. What if history isn't a straight line, but a cycle? Civilizations rise, only to be erased in cataclysms so violent that almost nothing remains. The shocking truth is, Earth has pressed the reset button again and again, and what you are about to hear will leave you speechless. We often think of extinction as something distant, something that happened only to the dinosaurs. But in reality, Earth is a graveyard of lost worlds. Life flourishes for millions of years. Then suddenly, disaster strikes. 66 million years ago, the reign of the dinosaurs ended in a single day. A mountain-sized asteroid slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula, releasing the energy of billions of nuclear bombs. Forests ignited. Tsunamis, taller than skyscrapers, swept across oceans. Dust and ash blotted out the sun for years. When the skies cleared, 3/4 of all life on Earth was gone. Many assume it dies. As a fact, I may find fond. This was not the first extinction, and it will not be the last. The 5 great extinctions. Scientists call them the Big Five, 5 mass extinctions that reshaped life itself. Ordovician extinction, 443 million years ago. Nearly 85% of marine species vanished as Earth froze, then overheated. Devonian extinction, 360 million years ago. Plants transformed the land, oxygen levels collapsed, killing 75% of life. Permian extinction, 252 million years ago. The deadliest of all, 96% of species gone. Oceans turned acidic, skies poisoned. Triassic extinction, 201 million years ago. Massive volcanic eruptions paved the way for the rise of dinosaurs. Cretaceous extinction, 66 million years ago. The asteroid that ended the dinosaurs, but opened the door for mammals, and eventually, us. Each extinction was sudden. Each reset the world, and each raises a haunting question. If entire species, entire worlds can be erased in a heartbeat, what about civilizations? And here's where it gets terrifying. Scientists have evidence of another disaster, much closer to us. A catastrophe just 12,000 years ago that may have ended an earlier age of humanity. What you are about to hear will shock you. The Younger Dryas Catastrophe. About 12,800 years ago, Earth plunged suddenly into an ice age. Temperatures dropped in just a few decades. Entire ecosystems collapsed. Megafauna like mammoths and saber-toothed cats disappeared. What caused it? For decades, no one knew. But in recent years, evidence has emerged of a cosmic impact. Scientists have found microscopic diamonds, melt glass, and nanospheres in layers of soil. Signs of intense heat, the kind only created by a comet or asteroid striking Earth. If true, it means fragments of a massive comet bombarded the planet, igniting wildfires, changing the climate, and drowning coastlines. Some researchers argue this disaster erased entire human cultures. Cultures advanced enough to build monuments like Göbekli Tepe, but too fragile to survive the cataclysm. Imagine a world where civilizations flourished along Ice Age coastlines. Cities of stone, trade routes, knowledge passed through generations. Then, almost overnight, fire from the skies, floods, and rising seas wiped them away. Within centuries, all that remained were ruins and myths. Myths of the flood. Across the globe, ancient stories tell of floods that destroyed entire worlds. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of humanity's oldest texts, speaks of gods unleashing a deluge. The Bible tells of Noah. Hindu texts describe Manu, who survived a great flood. The Aztecs, the Mayans, even the Aboriginal Australians, all preserve myths of water destroying the earth. Are these simply stories? Or are they fractured memories of real events, passed down through generations of survivors who watched their world drown? And here is where things get truly unsettling. Because these disasters are not just in the past. The universe is filled with weapons capable of erasing us tomorrow, and they have struck Earth before. What you're about to hear will leave you in shock. The threat above. We comfort ourselves by thinking that such disasters are rare. But astronomers warn that Earth still crosses paths with thousands of unseen dangers. Asteroids, comets, gamma-ray bursts from dying stars, even supervolcanoes beneath our feet. In 1908, a meteor exploded over Tunguska, Siberia, flattening 80 million trees across 2,000 square kilometers. If it had struck a city, millions would have died in seconds. And that was just a fragment. The truth is this: civilizations can vanish in an instant. Nature does not care about technology or power or progress. When the reset button is pressed, only ruins remain. From the dinosaurs to the Ice Age giants, from ancient flood myths to evidence of cosmic fire, one truth emerges: history is not safe. It is fragile. It is violent. And it repeats. If earlier civilizations once flourished, they may have been erased by disasters we are only beginning to understand. Which means our own world, our skyscrapers, satellites, and smartphones may be just as temporary. But the universe hides even greater dangers. Explosions that could erase our atmosphere. Rocks the size of mountains drifting invisibly toward us. And the shocking truth is, one day, it will happen again. What you will hear in the next part will leave you in shock. We like to believe Earth is safe, that our civilization is permanent. But the truth is terrifying. The universe is not safe. It never was. What you are about to hear will leave you in shock, because the dangers are real, and one day they will strike again. Every night, we look up at the sky and see beauty. The stars, the moon, the Milky Way stretching across the heavens. But behind that beauty hides violence, unimaginable power waiting to strike. The universe does not care about us. It is filled with explosions, storms, and wandering rocks, large enough to erase civilizations in a single day. For billions of years, Earth has been both a cradle of life and a target. And if history teaches us anything, it is this. The question is not if catastrophe will come again. The question is when. Asteroids. The silent killers. In 1994, astronomers watched as a comet named Shoemaker-Levy 9 smashed into Jupiter. Each impact released energy equal to millions of nuclear bombs. The fireballs rose higher than Earth itself. If Jupiter had not been there to shield us, those fragments could have struck our own world. Closer to home, Earth is surrounded by thousands of near-Earth objects, asteroids and comets, silently crossing our orbit. Some are small, the size of cars. Others are kilometers across. Even a 1-kilometer asteroid could trigger global famine and collapse. And the terrifying truth? We have not found them all. In fact, scientists estimate that only about 40% of the dangerous asteroids near Earth have been discovered. The rest are still out there. Invisible, waiting. In 2013, a meteor, just 20 meters wide, exploded over Chelyabinsk, Russia. The shockwave shattered windows across the city and injured 1,500 people. That was only 20 meters. Imagine 1,500 meters wide. Imagine 1 kilometer across. Humanity would not recover. And asteroids are not the only threat. Above us, in the hearts of distant galaxies, explosions erupt so powerful they could strip Earth of its atmosphere in seconds. What you're about to hear will leave you in shock. Gamma ray bursts, death from the stars. Far away, when massive stars die, they collapse into black holes. Sometimes the collapse releases twin beams of energy, gamma ray bursts, the brightest explosions in the universe. If one of these bursts happened within 10,000 light-years of Earth and aimed directly at us, the consequences would be apocalyptic. The ozone layer would vanish. Radiation would scorch the planet. Life as we know it would end. Scientists believe such a burst may have caused one of Earth's mass extinctions hundreds of millions of years ago. If it happened once, it could happen again. Supervolcanoes. Death from below. The dangers are not only in the sky. Beneath our feet, Earth itself hides its own weapons. In Yellowstone National Park lies a supervolcano, its magma chamber stretching for miles. It has erupted before, most recently, 640,000 years ago. If it erupted again, ash would cover much of North America. Sunlight would dim. Crops would fail. Billions could starve. Civilization itself could collapse in months. And Yellowstone is not the only one. Supervolcanoes exist in Indonesia, Italy, New Zealand. Each one a ticking time bomb beneath our world. And here is where the story becomes even more shocking. Because while these dangers seem unstoppable, humanity has finally begun to fight back. Scientists are building weapons to defend Earth itself. What you are about to hear may surprise you. Defending Earth. Planetary protection. For the first time in history, we are not helpless. In 2022, NASA launched a mission called DART, the Double Asteroid Redirection Test. A small spacecraft deliberately crashed into an asteroid named Dimorphos. The impact changed its orbit by several minutes. This was proof. We can push asteroids. We can defend Earth. But it was only a test. On a small target. Against a larger asteroid, we would need more power, more warning, and global cooperation. The European Space Agency is planning follow-up missions. Other nations are studying nuclear options, last resort methods to shatter or deflect incoming rocks. Humanity is beginning to play a dangerous game: planetary defense. But the truth is sobering. We are still not ready. We are blind to many of the threats above us. And even if we see them coming, we may not have the technology to stop them in time. The universe is a battlefield. Asteroids, comets, supervolcanoes, gamma-ray bursts all remind us that our world is fragile. Civilization feels permanent, but it is not. One cosmic rock, one eruption, one burst of radiation could reset everything we have built. And yet, there is hope. For the first time, we can see the dangers. For the first time, we are learning how to fight back. Humanity stands at a crossroads, fragile, vulnerable, but no longer blind. But danger doesn't always come from explosions or volcanoes. Sometimes it drifts silently between the stars. In 2017, something entered our solar system that shocked scientists, a visitor from another world. And what you're about to hear will leave you in shock. In 2017, something entered our solar system. Something unlike anything we had ever seen before. It was not a comet. It was not an asteroid. It was something strange. Something that should not exist. What scientists discovered next will shock you. On October 19th, 2017, astronomers at the Halakala Observatory in Hawaii detected a faint, fast-moving object. At first, it looked like an ordinary asteroid passing through. But within days, calculations revealed something extraordinary. This object was not from our solar system. It came from somewhere else. It was moving too fast, on a trajectory that could only mean one thing. It was interstellar. They named it ʻOumuamua, a Hawaiian word meaning scout or messenger from afar. And that name could not have been more appropriate. Because as scientists studied it, the mystery only deepened. The shape of a mystery. Most asteroids are round or irregular chunks of rock. Comets have icy tails. But ʻOumuamua was different. Its shape was elongated, perhaps 10 times longer than it was wide. like a cigar or even a flat pancake spinning through space. No asteroid like it had ever been seen. Even stranger, as it passed near the sun, it began to accelerate, ever so slightly, but enough to defy expectations. Normally, only comets do this, releasing gas that pushes them forward. But ʻOumuamua showed no cometary tail, no signs of evaporation. It was silent. It was smooth. And yet, it moved as if under control. Some scientists insisted it was a fragment of rock from a distant star system. But others whispered a different possibility, one that sent shockwaves across the world. Could ʻOumuamua be artificial? What if it wasn't a rock at all? What if it was a probe, a messenger sent by another civilization? Stay with us, because what comes next will shock you. The alien hypothesis. Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb became one of the most controversial voices in science when he suggested ʻOumuamua could be a piece of alien technology. Perhaps a probe. Perhaps a solar sail. A thin sheet pushed by starlight. Mainstream scientists criticized him, arguing extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. But the fact remained. ʻOumuamua did not behave like anything we had ever seen. Loeb's argument was simple. If you hear hoofbeats, you think horses, not zebras. But in this case, there were no horses. The object fit no natural category. So maybe it was something else entirely. And here's the terrifying thought. If ʻOumuamua was artificial, then it was a sign. A sign that we are not alone. A sign that others have traveled between the stars. And maybe they already know about us. Borisov, the second visitor. Just 2 years later, in 2019, another interstellar object appeared. This time, it was unmistakably a comet, named Toy Borisov, after the amateur astronomer who discovered it. This icy traveler came from another star system and carried with it the chemical fingerprints of distant worlds. Unlike ʻOumuamua, Borisov had a glowing tail, confirming it was natural. But the message was clear. Interstellar objects are real, and they are visiting our solar system. We are not isolated. We are part of a cosmic highway where rocks, and perhaps more, pass between stars. And here is where the story becomes even more shocking. If natural rocks can drift between the stars, then so can machines. Which means probes from other civilizations could already be here. What you're about to hear will leave you in shock. The silent visitors. For decades, the latest scientists have debated the possibility of alien probes. Instead of sending fragile radio signals, an advanced civilization might simply send machines. Small, durable, quiet, talk to me. New, outstep side. They could hide in asteroid belts, on moons, even in orbit around the sun. The idea is not science fiction. We ourselves are beginning to send probes. Voyager 1 and 2 have already left the solar system. Within thousands of years, they will pass near other stars. To another civilization, they would appear exactly like ʻOumuamua did to us, a strange, silent messenger from afar. So if we are doing it, why wouldn't others? The implication: ʻOumuamua passed quickly. Within weeks, it was too far and too faint to study. The mystery remains unsolved. Was it rock, ice, or something more? We may never know. But its arrival changed everything. It reminded us that the universe is not empty. It is alive with movement, with visitors, with possibilities. And if one came, more will follow. Maybe the next one will not be silent. ʻOumuamua was the first messenger. Borisov was the second. And astronomers now believe interstellar objects are common. Thousands may be passing through our solar system every year, unseen. Some are just rocks. Some are just ice. But perhaps hidden among them are probes. Machines from civilizations older than ours, quietly watching, quietly waiting. The truth is, we don't know. And that ignorance is both humbling and terrifying. But what if the universe itself is stranger than we can imagine? What if our universe is not the only one? Because scientists now believe there may be others. Infinite others, each with its own rules, its own civilizations, its own destinies. And what you're about to hear will shock you. What if the Big Bang was not the beginning? What our universe is just one bubble, floating in a sea of countless others? The truth you are about to hear will shock you, because it suggests that reality itself is far stranger than we ever imagined. For most of human history, we asked a simple question: where did everything come from? Ancient myths offered answers. Gods creating the heavens, cosmic eggs cracking, giants sacrificing themselves to form the world. But for science, the answer arrived in the 20th century: the Big Bang. According to modern physics, about 13.8 billion years ago, everything, space, time, matter, energy, erupted from a single point. The universe expanded, galaxies formed, stars were born. And here we are, tiny creatures, asking how it all began. But the Big Bang is not the end of the story. In fact, new discoveries suggest it may not even be the beginning. The problem with the Big Bang? The Big Bang explains much, but it also leaves questions. Why is the universe so smooth, with galaxies spread almost evenly? Why is space so flat, as if balanced on a knife's edge? Why does the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang, look nearly identical in every direction? The answer may lie in an astonishing idea: cosmic inflation. Cosmic inflation. The first instant, according to physicist Alan Guth, in the first trillionth of a second after the Big Bang, the universe expanded faster than light. Not matter itself, but space. Stretching, smoothing, flattening everything. In less than a heartbeat, the universe went from smaller than an atom to larger than a galaxy. This idea explains the uniformity we see today. But it also opens a door to something shocking. Because if inflation happened once, why not again? And here's the terrifying thought. If inflation can happen once, it may happen endlessly, which means our universe is not alone. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear will shake your idea of reality. The multiverse. If inflation repeats, then new universes are constantly being born. Each one a bubble, expanding into its own reality, separate from ours. Some may be lifeless, with no stars, no galaxies. Others may look like ours, with planets, suns, perhaps even life. And some may follow completely different rules of physics, where time runs strangely, or gravity behaves differently. This is the idea of the multiverse, that our universe is just one of many. Maybe infinite. Maybe eternal. It sounds like science fiction, but leading physicists, from Stephen Hawking to Andre Linde, have taken it seriously. Because the mathematics works. Because it explains why our universe seems so finely tuned for life. Out of countless universes, some must allow stars and planets, and we happen to live in one. And parallel worlds and quantum mysteries. But the multiverse may not stop there. Another theory comes from quantum physics, the many worlds interpretation. According to it, every time a choice is made, reality splits. One path goes left, another goes right. One universe where you were born, and another where you never existed. If true, there are endless versions of us, living out endless possibilities. Civilizations rising and falling in realities we will never touch. And here's the most shocking idea of all. If there are other universes, there may be other civilizations, some far older, far greater, far stranger than ours. And if that is true, then our universe is not the center of existence, but just one note in a cosmic symphony. What you're about to hear will change how you see everything. Signs of other universes? You may ask, how can we know? After all, if other universes exist, how can we see them? Physicists search for clues in the cosmic microwave background, looking for scars, signs where our universe may have collided with another. Others propose high-energy experiments that could reveal hidden dimensions. And here's the chilling thought. If universes can collide, then one day, ours could too. Our entire reality could vanish, replaced in an instant by another. No warning, no survival, just gone. The ultimate mystery, the multiverse, remains unproven. Some scientists reject it as speculation, but others argue it is the natural conclusion of our best theories. And if it is true, it changes everything. It means we are not special. Our universe is not unique. Civilizations may exist beyond our reach, endless, eternal, repeating. Some may have risen and fallen billions of times before us. And if that is true, then perhaps, somewhere out there, Another version of us is asking the same question right now. The Big Bang was not the end of the story. It may not even be the beginning.
My serious soul has changed here.
Beyond our stars may lie infinite universes, infinite histories, infinite civilizations. We are just one bubble in a cosmic ocean? Fragile, temporary, uncertain. But here is where things become truly shocking. Because we now have the most powerful telescope in history, one that can look back almost to the beginning of time. And what it has already discovered has stunned scientists. The next part will leave you in shock. In 2021, humanity launched its most ambitious machine. A telescope so powerful it could look back in time, almost to the very beginning of the universe. What it has already seen has shocked scientists. And what it may find next could change everything. For centuries we looked at the stars with wonder. Then we built telescopes, and the universe revealed itself. Galaxies, nebulae, infinite light. But no telescope has ever rivaled this one. The James Webb Space Telescope, GWST, a golden-eyed giant orbiting 1,000,000 miles from Earth. It is the most advanced observatory ever created, designed to peer into the deepest past and search for the faintest signs of life. It took decades of planning, billions of dollars, and the efforts of thousands of scientists. But when Webb unfolded its massive golden mirror in space, humanity unlocked a new window to the cosmos. First images. The shock of science. In July 2022, Webb revealed its first images, and what scientists saw left them stunned. Galaxies, thousands of them, packed into a single tiny speck of sky. Some so faint, so ancient, that their light had traveled for more than 13 billion years. Webb had looked back to the dawn of time, to the era when the first galaxies were born. And here's the shocking part. Many of those galaxies were too big, too bright, too well-formed. They should not exist so soon after the Big Bang. According to our models, galaxies needed billions of years to grow. Yet Webb showed them already, thriving just a few 100 million years after creation. It was a cosmic mystery, and a reminder that our understanding of the universe is far from complete. And the surprises didn't stop there. Because Webb has also begun to peer into alien worlds, planets beyond our solar system. And what it has found may be the first hints of life. What you are about to hear will shock you. Exoplanets, searching for life. Before Webb, we knew of thousands of exoplanets, worlds orbiting other stars. But they were only dots of light. Now, for the first time, we can study their atmospheres. Webb uses a technique called transit spectroscopy. When a planet passes in front of its star, some of the starlight filters through its atmosphere. Webb splits that light into colors, revealing chemical fingerprints. How? Already, Webb has detected water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, the building blocks of life in the skies of distant worlds. On the planet WASP-39b, a hot gas giant, Webb found carbon dioxide clearly. On another, hints of clouds and haze. The dream is this: to one day detect biosignatures, oxygen combined with methane, or unusual chemical imbalances that cannot be explained by geology alone. If Webb sees that, it would be the first real evidence of life beyond Earth. Habitable worlds. The most exciting targets are rocky planets in the habitable zone. Not too hot, not too cold, where liquid water could exist. Webb is already studying planets in systems like TRAPPIST-1, where 7 Earth-sized worlds circle a red dwarf star. Some of them may be covered in oceans. Some may be barren deserts. But if even one shows signs of life, it will change history forever. And here is where the story becomes even more shocking. Oh, because Webb is not just finding planets. It is finding signs that life itself may be far more common than we imagined. What you're about to hear will leave you in shock. Are we alone? Every new discovery by Webb brings us closer to answering the oldest question. Are we alone? The Drake equation, once a speculation, now seems more real. With billions of planets in our galaxy, the odds that Earth is the only cradle of life shrink every day. And if life is common, intelligence may not be far behind. But here lies the paradox. If life is everywhere, where are they? Why is the universe silent? This is the mystery Webb may help solve. The future of Webb. Webb is just beginning. Its mission will last for decades, uncovering secrets we cannot yet imagine. It may reveal the first evidence of alien life. It may show us galaxies so strange they force us to rewrite physics. It may even peer so far into the past that we glimpse the moment of creation itself. But one thing is certain. The universe is not what we thought. It is older, stranger, more alive than we dared to dream. The James Webb Space Telescope is more than a machine. It is humanity's eye into the unknown. With each image, each spectrum of light, it whispers the same truth. We are standing at the edge of discovery. Perhaps soon, we will no longer wonder if we are alone. But we will know. But if life is common, then why haven't we seen it yet? The truth may be even more shocking. Civilizations may be everywhere, but they may also be fragile, short-lived, and doomed to vanish. What you're about to hear in the next part will leave you in shock. What if life is not rare? What if the universe is filled with living worlds, each with their own stories, their own civilizations? The shocking truth is, science now suggests life may be far more common than we ever dared to believe. And what you are about to hear will leave you in shock. For most of history, humanity believed Earth was special, the center of the universe. The only world with oceans, forests, and life. But as our knowledge grew, that illusion shattered. We learned Earth is just one planet orbiting one star in a galaxy of hundreds of billions. And now, thanks to telescopes like Kepler, TESS, and Webb, we know planets are everywhere. Almost every star has them. Many are rocky. Many sit in the habitable zone, where liquid water could exist. The numbers are staggering. In our galaxy alone, there may be billions of Earth-like planets. And across the universe, trillions upon trillions. But if in a fraction of them host life, then the cosmos could be alive with possibility. The Drake equation. In 1961, astronomer Frank Drake proposed an equation to estimate the number of civilizations in our galaxy. At the time, most of the numbers were guesses. How many stars have planets? How many planets are habitable? How many develop life? Back then, it was speculation. But now, thanks to exoplanet discoveries, we can fill in some blanks. Stars with planets, nearly all of them. Planets in habitable zones. Billions. Billions. Time for life to evolve. Billions of years. The odds are no longer against life. They are in fate's favor, which means, statistically, we should not be alone. And here is where the story becomes shocking. If life should be common, then why haven't we seen it? Why is the universe so silent? The answer is as terrifying as it is mysterious. What you are about to hear will shock you. Life everywhere, but hidden. See how to, but how. Some scientists believe life may be common, but mostly microbial. Tiny bacteria-like organisms living in oceans, beneath ice, in clouds. Intelligent civilizations may be rare or short-lived. Others suggest that intelligent life could be out there, but communication across such vast distances is nearly impossible. Radio signals. Wait. Civilizations rise and fall in the blink of cosmic time. In a blink of cosmic time. By the time one broadcasts, another may already be gone. And there's another possibility, one that is chilling. The Great Filter. What if life is common? What survival is rare? What if most civilizations destroy themselves before they can spread among the stars? Nuclear war. Climate collapse. Artificial intelligence beyond control. Now, the possibilities are endless. Maybe the silence of the cosmos is not because no one is out there, but because no one lasts. This idea is called the Great Filter. Somewhere between the origin of life and the birth of starfaring civilizations lies a wall most cannot pass, and we do not know if humanity has already passed it, or if it still lies ahead. And here is the most terrifying possibility of all. What if civilizations rise and fall so quickly that by the time we are ready to listen, they are already gone? What if the silence of the universe is the sound of extinction? Stay with us. What comes next will leave you speechless. Are we early or too late? Some scientists suggest humanity may be among the first. Perhaps the universe is only now becoming rich in heavy elements, only now producing habitable worlds in great numbers. Maybe intelligent life is just beginning to bloom. Others argue the opposite. Perhaps civilizations flourished billions of years ago. Perhaps they spread, built wonders, explored the stars, and then vanished, Maybe what we see as empty space is actually the ruins of an older age. And maybe we are too late to meet them. The silence. The paradox is cruel. The numbers tell us life should be common. The silence tells us otherwise. Maybe they are hiding. Watching. Maybe they have chosen not to interfere. What some call the zoo hypothesis. Or maybe they are so advanced, we cannot even recognize their signals. But the silence is also a warning. Because if civilizations truly are fragile, then our own survival is not guaranteed. Life may be common. Planets may be everywhere. But intelligence, civilization, survival, those may be the rarest things of all. And so the universe leaves us with a haunting question. Are we unique, or just the latest in a long cycle of civilizations that rise, shine, and vanish into silence? But there is one question that makes scientists lose sleep at night. If life should be everywhere, then where is everybody? The mystery is so profound it has a name, the Fermi Paradox. And what you are about to hear in the next part will shock you. Life should be everywhere. The numbers tell us the galaxy should be full of civilizations. And yet, silence. No signals. No visitors. Nothing. This terrifying mystery has a name. The Fermi Paradox. And what you are about to hear will shock you. It is one of the most haunting questions in science. If the universe is so vast with billions of stars, trillions of planets, and billions of years of history, then where is everybody? In 1950, physicist Enrico Fermi asked this question over lunch with colleagues. If life is common, he reasoned, then intelligent civilizations should have had plenty of time to colonize the galaxy. Even at slow speeds, within just a few million years, the Milky Way could be filled with outposts, signals, machines, but we see nothing. This contradiction between probability and observation is the Fermi Paradox. And the possible answers are both fascinating and terrifying. Possibility 1. We are alone. The simplest explanation is also the most unsettling. A. Maybe Earth really is unique. Maybe life is vanishingly rare, and intelligence even rarer. If true, then we may be the only thinking beings in the galaxy. The only voices in the dark. That would make us special, but also profoundly alone. But this clashes with the numbers. With billions of planets, is it really possible that only one, ours, gave rise to life? And so we turn to darker answers. What if the universe is full of civilizations, but something destroys them before they can spread? What you are about to hear will shock you. Possibility 2. The Great Filter. Perhaps life is common, but few make it past a deadly barrier. The Great Filter. It could be behind us. Maybe the origin of life itself is nearly impossible. Maybe we got lucky. If so, humanity has already passed the hardest test. But what if the filter is ahead? What if every civilization eventually destroys itself? Nuclear war. Climate collapse. Artificial intelligence. Or something we cannot yet imagine? If so, the silence of the stars is the sound of civilizations dying, one by one. And that means our future is in danger. Possibility. They are hiding. Another possibility is chilling in a different way. Maybe advanced civilizations know we exist, but choose not to reveal themselves. This is called the zoo hypothesis. Imagine animals in a wildlife preserve. They live unaware they are being watched. Perhaps we are the same, a young species, too primitive to join the galactic community. If this is true, then silence is not absence. It is control. But some theories go even further. What if they are not hiding, but hunting? What if the universe is a dark forest, where every civilization is both predator and prey? The next idea will shock you. Possibility 4. The Dark Forest. In Liu Cixin's novel The Dark Forest, he describes the universe as exactly that, a dark forest. Every civilization is a hunter, armed and afraid. They cannot know if others are friendly or hostile. And so, the safest choice is to stay silent. If you reveal your position, you risk being destroyed. Perhaps this is why the stars are quiet. Civilizations that shout do not last. Only the silent survive. And if this is true, then searching for signals, as we do with projects like SETI, might be dangerous. We may be broadcasting our position to predators we do not understand. Possibility 5. They were here long ago. What if civilizations are not absent but ancient? Maybe they rose billions of years ago, explored, built, and fell. Long before we appeared, the galaxy could be filled with ruins, machines, or probes, but the builders are gone. Perhaps ʻOumuamua was one. Perhaps alien artifacts drift silently in our asteroid belt. If true, then we are latecomers to a galaxy that has already seen ages of civilization rise and fall. Possibility 6. Too strange to see. And then there is the most humbling idea of all. Maybe they are here, but so advanced, so strange, that we cannot even recognize them. Ants cannot understand human technology. Perhaps we are the ants, looking at something beyond our comprehension. If so, the silence may not be silence at all, but our own blindness. The Fermi paradox has no answer. Maybe we are alone. Maybe civilizations are fragile. Maybe they hide. Maybe they are gone. Or maybe they are all around us, invisible to our limited minds. But one thing is certain. The silence is not comforting. It is a warning. We may not be the first civilization. We may not be the last. But if others failed, will we? And now the final question. What does this mean for us? If others have risen and fallen before, if the universe is filled with danger and silence, then what is humanity's destiny? The answer you are about to hear may shock you, because it is the most important truth of all. What if we are not the first, but we could be the last? What if history is not progress, but a warning? The truth you are about to hear may shock you, because it's not just about the past or the cosmos. It's about us right now. We began with a question. Are we the first civilization? The ruins of Göbekli Tepe whisper that we may not be. Ancient floods and cosmic impacts remind us that worlds can vanish overnight. Asteroids, gamma-ray bursts, and supervolcanoes warn us that the universe itself is hostile. ʻOumuamua and Borisov showed us that we are not isolated. Objects, perhaps even messengers, travel between the stars. The multiverse reminds us that our universe may not be unique. James Webb revealed galaxies that should not exist, and planets that may harbor life. The Drake equation told us life should be common, and yet the Fermi paradox left us haunted by silence. Piece by piece, the evidence forms a pattern. Civilizations may rise, but they are fragile. They face disasters from above and dangers from within, and most may not survive. The fragility of civilization. Look around at our own world. We have built cities of glass and steel. We command the atom. We reach into space. But in truth, we are as fragile as those who came before. A war, a plague, a changing climate, a single asteroid, any of these could erase centuries of progress. 10,000 years from now, what will remain of us? A few ruins? A story told in whispers? Or nothing at all? If forgotten civilizations once walked this earth, we should not feel pride. We should feel warning, because their fate could be ours. And yet, there is hope, because unlike those who may have come before, we can see the dangers. We can prepare. We can choose differently. What comes next is not just shocking. It is the most important truth of all. The choice. For the first time in history, a species understands the threats it faces. We know asteroids can strike, and we are learning to deflect them. We know supervolcanoes slumber, and we monitor them. We know our technology is powerful enough to save us or destroy us. This is the choice. If we are careless, if we repeat the mistakes of the past, we may join the silence of the stars. But if we are wise, if we use our knowledge not for destruction but survival, then we may become the first civilization to endure, the first to break the cycle. A cosmic perspective. Think about it. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. Civilizations could have risen and fallen countless times. But right now, here we are, alive, aware, asking the question. That alone is extraordinary. Out of all the chaos, all the destruction, all the silence, we are here. Which means this: humanity matters. Our story is not guaranteed, but it is ours to write. Closing words. So, are we the first civilization? Probably not. Are we the last? That depends on us. If the ruins of forgotten worlds teach us anything, it is that survival is not about power. It is about wisdom. It is about humility, in the face of the cosmos. It is about choosing life over destruction. One day, another civilization, perhaps millions of years from now, may ask the same question: were we the first? And maybe, if we endure, if we survive the dangers above and below, the answer will be clear. We were not the first. But we were the ones who lasted. Everything you have heard tonight is not just history. It is not just science. It is a warning and a hope. Because the greatest question is not whether we are alone or whether others came before. The greatest question is, will humanity survive long enough to be remembered? The answer is in our hands.